What's going on, everybody? KrimsonKreamer here, and let me just say, today has been an awesome day. Street Fighter 6 finally got its official announcement and overview of what this game is and what's to come, and let me tell you guys, this is amazing. I'm pretty sure you could hear it in my voice right now, but I am super ecstatic for what they're doing with this game and the stuff that they're adding and just how it looks. Like, overall, the graphics for this game look amazing. It's definitely a step up from the anime cartoony style that they've always done for Street Fighter, and it actually works. The theme and motif of this game is the old school hip-hop style, pretty much similar to what they did with Third Strike, and I kind of like that they're going back to that. They're not really backtracking and like doing something new. Street Fighter 6 is definitely a rehash of old games and mechanics, and all the good things of past Street Fighters are now into one new game, and I will explain that in a bit. But first, let's go over these characters and the stuff that they're doing, because, like I said, they're moving forward with this game and putting it in the proper timeline. Like, take a look at Ryu, and his description that he has. Ever training. This martial artist seeks true strength. Well-mannered and sincere, Ryu travels the globe in search of worthy opponents. Having overcome his Satsu no Hado, he now seeks yet greater heights. Like, come on. That description right there shows us the evolution of Ryu from past games to now. That he is past the Satsu no Hado and he has become a full-fledged master of martial arts. And even with the way that he looks, he's wearing Oro's sash. So right now, Ryu is the combination of what Master Gouken and what Master Oro has taught Ryu, and they're bringing that into Street Fighter 6, and it looks amazing. Then we have Luke and Jamie. First, Luke's new description, because we didn't really have much of a description for him in Street Fighter 5. It was pretty much just, you know, his father was in the military, his father died, he was training in the military, and then Guile taught him some things. But now we have more of a real in-depth description of Luke and what he is. A contractor for a PMC, a private military company, Luke uses his elite military background to teach mixed martial arts. His days off are spent eating junk food, playing video games, and fighting. But make no mistake, Luke plays to win. So they gave him more of a description, and they're fleshing out this new character, and I really like the fact that he's kind of like the poster boy for this game, along with the new guy, Jamie, or Jaime. I don't know how people are going to pronounce it. I'm going to call it Jamie because that's what it looks like. And it just means a lot to me that they're adding character development to this game, especially for a character that they just introduced and they didn't really have much of. I'm kind of glad that they're just going a little bit more in-depth with what Luke is, and I'm pretty sure they were always going to do that. Here's the new guy, Jamie. This self-styled Chinatown peacekeeper aspires to the example set by Yun and Yang, the twin dragons. An expert dancer, Jamie places justice and friendship above all else, defending his town with martial arts. I love the fact that they are calling back to Yun and Yang, and that, again, that this is an older generation, that Yun and Yang were apparently kind of like a Streets of Rage type of situation, or even like a Final Fight type of thing, where they kind of continued, you know, keeping the streets safe, this and that, known as the Twin Dragons on the streets. And it's very much a game where you're taking from the older generation of characters, and they're inspiring this new generation of characters, like Jamie and Luke. Because I'm pretty sure Luke was also inspired by, like, Guile and stuff, based on a lot of his movesets and whatnot, and aspires to be, you know, a good fighter and stuff. And the same thing with Jamie, is that he wants to, you know, continue peacekeeping in his town. He's a break dancer, but he's also got the drunken fist style, because we see him drink from his gourd in the trailer. He looks like a really fun character, and I honestly can't wait to try him out. And then finally, we have Chun-Li, who again is the other older character of the trailer they showed. A former high-kicking ICPO agent, Chun-Li looks after Li Fen, a victim of the Black Moon incident, which was what happened in Street Fighter V. With Shadowloo sundered, she now runs kung fu classes and has become a well-loved member of the local community. So, like, even, like, characters like Chun-Li, that, you know, she's becoming more down-to-earth, you know, not really, like, you know, the high-energetic. She's definitely, like, more calm and collected, and that they're, you know, taking initiative by making these characters, you know, allowing them to get older and, you know, training up the new generation. I'm pretty sure she's going to have a new moveset as well for the game moving forward. She might have, you know, her old moveset, but hopefully they add some new stuff too, kind of like what they did with Ryu, and I'm super excited with all the character stuff that they're doing, and, you know, it's just great. It's just great. I can't really say much about it. But let's talk about the game modes and other things that they are adding to this game that I'm personally excited for and may have a little bit of gripes with. So they added 3 new modes to this game: World Tour, Battle Hub, and the Fighting Grounds. First off, World Tour is the new single-player mode. There's really not much on this. The description just reads, a World Tour is an immersive single-player story mode. This is a completely new experience that defies genre labels. Carve out your own legend on the streets. Look out for more news on World Tour in the near future. From what they showed of this, it kind of looks like this is like your create a character, or you're just this generic character, and you might be able to, like, you know, change your character's movesets and whatnot, in terms of, like, oh, I'm gonna have him fight like Ryu, or now I'm gonna have him fight like Luke. I don't think it's gonna be a character in the game. If I was to pick if this was gonna be a character in the game, I would personally like it to be Ken's son, Mel, because Mel is going to be around like 15, 16 at this time, which is the same age around when Sakura was introduced in the Street Fighter Alpha. So it'd kind of be cool to see him running around and, you know, being able to play as him. But if it's just a generic character, I'm perfectly fine with that. And I would like to see them expand on this more and see what other things that this World Tour does have to offer. Up next is Battle Hub. This is basically the multiplayer mode. It kind of looks like it's just going to be a hub lounge for you and your character. Maybe this is going to be your avatar space where you can walk around and, you know, challenge people and stuff. The description reads, the Battle Hub is the ultimate place for players to seek out friendly rivalries. What can you do in the Battle Hub? Stay tuned for more news. So it's not all fleshed out. From just based on the picture that they're showing here, it definitely looks like a place kind of like in the ArcSys games where you're have an avatar and you have a lobby and you can kind of run around and talk to people and challenge specific people, or you can go up to probably like a monitor or something and try to just, you know, get into a ranked match or whatnot. It looks like a sick mode. I honestly can't wait for that and to see what they do. But let's move on to the actual bread and butter of this trailer and the things that they are adding to this game, because this next part is the biggest part of this overview and this talk and the stuff that I want to get into. Let's talk about Fighting Ground. Fighting Ground is just basically, you know, the versus mode, but they gave it a really sick name. And the description of this reads, continuing the tradition of being a genre leader, the pinnacle of fighting games can be found in this mode. With a highly evolved combat system, experience the stunning innovation for yourself. All of the modes found in Street Fighter V can now be found in Fighting Grounds. So essentially, what they're doing is they're taking all the stuff from Street Fighter V and they're implementing it into Fighting Grounds, which is fine. But they're also adding new mechanics and stuff to the game that I am super excited about. First, I want to talk about its real-time commentary mode, which is kind of like if you ever played like UFC or Madden or any of the sports games, and, you know, you have the commentators in the background and they're talking over like what the characters are doing and stuff. That is essentially what they're adding to this. What it reads is the commentators feature on the official Capcom Pro Tour commentate on your battles in real time. Get the pro player tournament experience as they comment on everything that happens during the fight. The commentators will also get more and more excited as the match heats up, and will also deliver easy to understand explanations of the game, making it a great learning tool for beginners. More commentators to be announced. So this is great for what they're doing, because this adds to that thing of like, oh, he should have blocked there, this and that, and oh, he pulled off this amazing combo, and it's just, you know, it's a learning experience. Like, yes, it's cool for someone like me who's been playing these games to be able to hear the commentators commentate on the match. That, personally, to me, is something that I want to do for myself and to get into fighting games. I love it when people talk about the gameplay that's going on and, you know, having a crowd. Like, that's what I want to do. I want to play in front of a big crowd of people, and this gives off that experience so much, and I personally love that. I love how they're taking what most people won't be able to experience and bringing it to your home, because this would be great for, you know, your own at-home tournaments by being able to set up the commentator mode, and when the people play, it feels like, you know, they're in a tournament, and it's just something that's cool, and it's a little extra feature that I'm glad that they added. But the other things that I wanted to talk about are the new simple / modern game mechanics that they're adding, and then the whole new drive system that they are also trying to add. So first, let's talk about the control types. So we have these two control types. We have modern and classic. Street Fighter 6 offers a new control mode to play without the need to remember difficult command inputs, allowing players to enjoy the flow of battle. Players who are delving into the world of Street Fighter for the first time, or those who haven't touched a fighting game in years, can jump right into the fray. Of course, the traditional control type of the series is still available for players who enjoy it. So basically, for people like me, I'm going to always be playing on the classic mode because, you know, that's what I grew up with. I know how to play. But for a lot of you guys who are new to Street Fighter and new to fighting games in general that want to get into a good fighting game, this is going to be the one. They are literally making it easier for everyone to get into, and I love that. So even if you're not good at fighting games or you've never played a fighting game, they are adding a control scheme to this game that will make it so easy for you to get into, and probably put you on par with people like me who have been playing Classic. Yes, you will probably have a slight disadvantage because based on the control schemes that they are showing, you're very limited in what you can do, but it will still allow you to do all the cool things that I can do with, you know, the Classic mode, and allow you to do it with the modern mode. Will you be able to do certain things here or there? We'll see. However, it does look very promising for the modern control type, and that it's very easy for most people to get into. But yeah, now I want to talk to you guys about the drive system or the drive gauge. Basically, from what they've shown in this little sample picture of the game screen, we can see that the drive gauge or the drive system is put right below the person's health bar. I believe it should be down where the special bar is, but you know, we'll get to that in a little bit. That's my one little gripe. But from what they're showing us and what they're telling us is that the drive gauge is something super special to the game. So basically, the drive gauge is the engine that powers the drive system that is available as soon as the round begins, allowing you to fight to your liking. If you spend your entire drive gauge, you'll enter a burnout state with big disadvantages, but it also replenishes automatically, making meter management a key to the fight. Understanding the system in depth, including when to be conservative and when to gamble, allows for deep, high-level battles. So basically, what they have done with this drive gauge and this drive system is they kind of took past mechanics of different Street Fighter games and implemented it into one mechanic. From what they showed, we have 5 different drive systems. We have drive impact, drive parry, overdrive, drive rush, and drive reversal. And I will say that each of these comes from a different Street Fighter, and I will explain to you what those are when we get into them, which is actually right now. So first off, we have drive impact, a powerful strike that can absorb an opponent's incoming attack. Perform this on your opponent backed into the corner to induce a wall splat, even if they block the attack. This is basically the focus attack from Street Fighter 4, where you press your 2 buttons, which is usually your medium punch and your medium kick, but in this game they're making it heavy punch and heavy kick, and it allows you to charge up an attack, get super armor off of that one attack, and then hit your opponent with a super heavy hit that'll either cripple them, or in this case, if they're up against the wall, wall splat them. But from what they showed in the trailer, it definitely looks like it crumples like in Street Fighter 4. So essentially they added back focus attacks, which is great. Up next is the drive parry. Automatically repel an opponent's attack and replenish drive when performed successfully. Perform a perfect parry by parrying just before an opponent's strike hits you. This is the one that's medium punch and kick, and this is essentially Ryu's V skill in Street Fighter V, but every character can do it. So they basically brought back universal parry from Street Fighter Third Strike, but they made it a little bit more easier to do instead of having to push forward as your opponent is attacking to parry the attack. This is kind of like you can kind of sit back and kind of like in Street Fighter V with Ryu be able to parry, but they added the mechanic of drive gauge to where it's going to cost about a half a bar of your drive gauge if you do it and you don't get it off. But if you land the parry, it actually replenishes it. So it's like, the good and bad of being able to parry and attack. But it's great that they're implementing back in the idea of a parry and everyone being able to universally do it. That's something I wish that they added in the Street Fighter V, like with Ryu and Gil, where they have these parries, and they're great. Like, nobody in Street Fighter V uses Ryu's V skill 2 because there's no need to. If you would rather have that defensive option of being able to parry your opponent, throw them off the game, and be able to counterattack, and that's something that they want to happen in this game. As you can see from, the trailer and this screenshot. Overdrive. This is the one thing that I've kind of had a gripe with, because this is essentially just EX, and they say that too. Press 2 of the same button instead of 1 while performing a special move to turn it into an overdrive art. These are the same attacks as EX special moves in past games. So essentially, they took the EX moves out of the super bar meter and implemented into the drive gauge. Am I upset about it? A little bit, but it allows for more. It's just an extra bit of meter management, which I'm kind of like about, but it is what it is. I'm not really going to get super over upset about it. There's got to be a good reason for it, because they definitely didn't go in depth with like the special moves and stuff and what they want to talk about that. So this is going to be interesting to see what they do, and I can't wait to see how this is going to be implemented into actual fights and stuff, because from what we've seen, these aren't like, super in-depth fights. We need to get more of that, probably like around like E3, or maybe closer to next year when they have like this at like a PAX or, some other convention. Maybe a Combo Breaker, they'll have a playable mode of this next year. We'll see, because this game doesn't come out until next year anyway, so we'll have to see what they want to do with this. Drive Rush, which is basically the focus attack dash cancel of the game. Perform a quick rush forward from a drive parry or a cancelable normal attack. Drive Rush from a parry costs 1 drive stock, while Drive Rush from a normal attack costs 3 drive stocks. So essentially, from a parry, you can dash out of it. So, like I said, it's basically the focus attack dash cancel. And it looks insane. It's kind of cool where you can do it from anything, and, it's going to cost you some bar, but you definitely kind of want to do it from the Street Fighter 4 style, where you would do the focus attack and then dash out of it. And it's allowing you to not have to do it like that, but it's interesting to see them bring this mechanic back, because this is something that a lot of people wanted in Street Fighter V, and what put a lot of people over the top in Street Fighter 4 with, high-level gameplay, and they're bringing that back, and it's insane. Finally, we have Drive Reversal, which is basically V-Reversal. Perform a counterattack while blocking an opponent's attack. The damage is low, but can help you out of a tight situation when you are being pressured, which is essentially the same thing as the V-Reversal, where you push forward while you're blocking and then hit the buttons that you need to hit. And that was probably the best mechanic in Street Fighter V, was the V-Reversal, because not a lot of people expected it. And like I said, it just got you people off your back and from you being constantly pressured. So basically, from what they are showing with this drive system and what they want people to do, is they want a good back and forth of this game. They're not making this game super offensive like Street Fighter V was, and that's why I'm happy. They are implementing these super defensive gameplay mechanics, but also offering some offense with it as well. You have, the drive impact, which is basically your focus attack, which allows you to, tank a hit to be able to continue through your attack. Drive parry. Parrying was key and essential in Street Fighter Third Strike. We all know about Moment 37 from EVO, and how much that really means to everything, so I'm not super upset about that at all. Overdrive, which is just basically, you know, the EX moves, they put it onto a separate bar, that's fine, I'm not super upset about that. The Drive Rush, which is, you know, your focus attack dash cancel, so that allows you to follow up with more combos if need be. And then Drive Reversal, which is, you know, if you're being backed up against the wall and you have enough meter to be able to push someone off, you can easily do that. And it's great. It's such a good, innovative way for this game series to be able to, you know, move forward from its mistakes of past Street Fighter games, and it's definitely moving in the right direction. Street Fighter 6, I feel, is going to be the best Street Fighter since, for me, Street Fighter 4, or an Ultra Street Fighter 4. It really depends on the other characters that they add into the game, how many other characters, and all that other stuff, but overall, it's looking like a good game. And here are some things that we definitely overviewed and missed in this trailer and on the website that I want to kind of go over with you guys. So I want to talk about the actual like game screen of like the in-game matches. First of all, I love the blue and the red. I love the neon color schemes for the characters. It looks great. That infinite sign in the middle looks good. I can't wait for them to actually like show off like, you know, the numbers counting down and what that looks like. You always need a good solid countdown timer for any fighting game, and from what they're showing, it looks well designed. Personally, I feel like the drive gauge should be lower. It should be down by the super bars on the bottom of the screen. But where they have it, I guess it's fine. It's kind of like the stun gauge from Street Fighter V and like the Alpha series. And even then, that's something that they haven't even really talked about. Is there going to be stun in this game? I'm pretty sure that there will be. All Street Fighter games have had stun, but the fact that they're making it, you know, not that noticeable, kind of like in Street Fighter 4, where it wasn't present on like a bar situation. It was kind of like not at random. It was really always there, but it just mattered in terms of like just trying to remember the numbers. It definitely looks like they're trying to go back to that type of mechanic. Or even if the drive gauge is kind of also the stun gauge as well, we'll have to see how that goes. I don't think it is, but you know, more stuff to come in the future when they actually talk about it. I love that they have, you know, the player names on the bars, and then, you know, the character descriptions with the names on them. That's cool looking. But I really want to talk about the super bars at the bottom. First of all, these aren't your traditional super bars, kind of like from, you know, Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 5, where they have, you know, the little brackets. They're definitely taking from the idea of Street Fighter 4 and the Alpha series, and even into like Super Turbo 2, where your bar was just a bar. There didn't have, you know, these little brackets to be like, if you fill it up this much, it's gonna, you know, you're able to perform an EX move. They're definitely taking from these older games where your bar is gonna fill up, and it looks like they're gonna have multiple bars, kind of like from Street Fighter Third Strike. Because the other thing that they really didn't go over, but I saw in screenshots, was that there are going to be 3 different super arts. That we're going to have 3 specials again in Street Fighter. Will you be able to use them all at the same time, or are they going to be picked? I don't know. From what they're showing here, super bars can be performed easily. This is from the modern control scheme that they're showing off that, you know, you can do these super arts. Shows that they are either going to have all 3 super arts at once, kind of like a KOF situation where, you know, you have 3 super arts and you don't have to choose, or you might be able to choose, because that was a big mechanic of Third Strike, was being able to choose your stuff. And even in Street Fighter 4, where you can either choose 1 or 2 ultras, or even have both, they might be going back to the idea of being able to use multiple supers at one time to be able to, you know, move forward. I like the idea of choice, but I also like the fact that they're also not, from what they're showing and what they're, you know, explaining, it doesn't look like you're going to be able to choose, but being able to have those options mid-match is definitely a key component to Street Fighter, because it's like, oh, is he going to do the Shinku Hadouken, or is he going to do Shin Shoryuken? I don't know what he's going to do in this moment. And I like that concept. I like the concept that it's kind of more of a thinking man's game. It's like, oh, what's he going to do? If he's all the way in the back, he might throw, you know, out his super Hadouken, his range super. Or if he's up close and doing combo, I have to prepare for him to do his Shin Shoryuken. Maybe I'll have to parry. Who knows what they are planning with this. But again, I like the fact that they are bringing back 3 supers. That's something that I really liked from Third Strike. Being able to pick between, you know, Shinku Hadouken, Denjin Hadouken, and Shin Shoryuken for Ryu. And from what they're also showing, that his new super, Shin Hashugeki, I have no idea what this is. They didn't show it in the trailers. They're just showing the screenshot of it here. This might be him going into, like, his, you know, enlightened state. I don't know what it's gonna be. We'll have to find out more in the future, because there wasn't really a lot shown from the gameplay trailers and stuff. But my god, this game looks insane, and I can't wait for this game to come out. I'm super excited. I hope you guys are excited. If you guys like what you see, please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you liked about the trailer, what you want from this game, and maybe what upset about you about this game, and what you don't want from this game. We could definitely discuss it down in the comments below, or if you guys join me on my Twitter or Discord, we could also discuss it there. I love talking with you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and as always, good gaming, God bless, go beyond, and keep on keeping on.
This is our destiny. My secret art!